Wow, it has been too long since I've recorded a podcast episode, and I am so glad that I'm getting back into it because from the very beginning, when I started this business, Glossus Social, the podcast was one of the areas that I just really loved. Sometimes growing a business can be really hard, and there are a lot of things that you don't love about it, which I'm sure you can relate to. But for me, the podcast has always been something that I've really enjoyed. And so I am challenging myself in the second half of this year, 2026, that I will be consistent with the podcast. Because also, when I was really in the groove and pushing out episodes every week, you all enjoyed it too, from what I heard. So I thought we could do something cool for this kind of first getting back into it podcast episode. If you don't know what Dermascope is, you need to look it up. So Dermascope is a leading publication in the aesthetics industry. They have digital and physical magazines, and they publish an issue every single month. I've actually done a lot with Dermascope in the past, so I've been a contributing author for, 3 years now in their issues. And then I also was nominated for the 2024 Esthetician's Choice Award for Best Business Resource. And that was like a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, this is freaking cool. I love what I do. This is amazing. And never in a million years could I have thought that I could build something like this that was making this much impact in the lives of people like you who are listening right now. And so when I was assigned my topic for this year as a contributing author, I was so excited to talk about this topic. So the topic is scaling with Sanity. And it was just published in the June 2026 issue for Dermascope. It starts on page 52 if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed to Dermascope, you can still view it on the digital version of their magazine. And of course, I will link it in the show notes as well. But I thought what we could do is I could read it to you. So I just figured if you don't have time to sit down and read it, this would suffice because it's a really important topic too as you're learning and taking action towards growing and scaling your aesthetics business. All right, so let's get started. Scaling with Sanity by Shaylee Hancock. So the little excerpt at the beginning says, somewhere along the way, the aesthetics industry adopted an unspoken rule. If a service provider wants to succeed, they must outwork everyone else. Post more, book more, add more services, say yes to everything. For a while, it works. The books are full, the revenue climbs, and it feels like momentum. Then comes the part nobody talks about at a trade show or on Instagram. The 12-hour days that leave professionals too exhausted to enjoy the life they are building. The Sunday nights spent dreading Monday, and the realization that business is growing but enthusiasm is shrinking. Here is the truth that more aesthetics professionals need to hear. Growth does not have to come at the expense of well-being. It can be strategic and deeply profitable without sacrificing health, relationships, or the passion that sparked this career in the first place. Scaling with Sanity is not a soft approach to business. It is the smartest one. Hustle hangover. Hustle culture did not start in aesthetics, but it found a comfortable home here. The industry has long celebrated the practitioner who is booked 6 weeks out, the spa owner who personally handles every consultation, and the solo professional who somehow manages to do it all with a smile. Social media reinforced it. Rise and grind became the anthem, and questioning that pace, that felt like admitting weakness. This lifestyle is unsustainable. Overbooking leads to rushed treatments and declining client experiences. Constantly chasing new clients instead of nurturing existing ones creates a revolving door that drains both energy and revenue. Saying yes to every trending treatment or device that promises to be the next big thing scatters focus and waters down expertise. The emotional and physical toll is real. Fatigue, chronic stress, irritability, and decision fatigue are not badges of honor, they are warning signs. When a skin professional reaches the point where they dread walking into the treatment room they once loved, something has gone fundamentally wrong. If this resonates, consider this a sanity checkpoint. Professionals should pause and audit their current workload honestly. Are they working harder than they are actually earning? Are their hours producing meaningful impact? The answers to those questions are the foundation of everything that follows. Scaling versus expanding. One of the most important distinctions a growing skin professional can make is the difference between scaling and expanding. They are often used interchangeably, but they represent very different paths. Confusing the two can lead to costly missteps. Scaling means improving efficiency, impact, and revenue without proportionally increasing hours worked. It's about doing more with what one already has, optimizing systems, refining services, and increasing the value of each and every client interaction. Expanding, on the other hand, means adding new locations, additional services, more staff, or bigger spaces. Expansion is not inherently bad, but it almost always increases complexity, overhead, and stress without solid systems already in place. Expansion can amplify existing problems instead of solving them. The growth at all costs mentality pushes many professionals towards expansion before they are ready because bigger looks better from the outside. A practitioner who scales intelligently, earns more per hour, retains clients longer, and operates with clear systems is often more profitable and far less stressed than someone managing 2 locations and a team, more often than not without a single documented process. The non-negotiables. Before professionals can grow in a way that feels good, they have to get clear on what they refuse to compromise. These are non-negotiables, and they act as guardrails for every business decision. For most skin professionals, 3 areas deserve protection above all else. First, clinical integrity and results. Clients trust practitioners with their skin, their confidence, and often their vulnerability. Rushing through treatments, cutting corners on products, or offering services they have not been properly trained in to keep up with demand will erode that trust faster than any marketing can rebuild it. Second, client experience. The reason people return is not just because of a professional's skill. It is the way they make clients feel seen, heard, and cared for. When growth compromises the warmth and attention of that experience, professionals lose the very thing that differentiates them. Third, personal energy and well-being. No one can pour from an empty cup, and they certainly cannot build a thriving business from a place of depletion. Protecting rest, boundaries, and mental health is very strategic and not at all selfish. Getting clear on these non-negotiables up front prevents the slow creep of burnout. When a new opportunity arises, ask, does this align with what I have decided matters most? If the answer is no, the decision is already made. The antidote to burnout. Systems are the solution to a business that feels like it runs on one's memory and energy alone. Standard operating procedures, or SOPs, transform the chaotic parts of business into repeatable, reliable processes that do not require professionals to be on at every single moment. Start with the areas that consume the most mental bandwidth: booking and scheduling, client consultations, treatment protocols, and follow-up communications. When these processes are documented and streamlined, they stop living in the professional's head and start working independently. A new client inquiry no longer requires a personalized response from scratch every time. A post-treatment follow-up booking happens automatically instead of getting lost in a to-do list. Automation tools play a powerful role here, and they do not have to feel impersonal. Automated appointment confirmations, review requests, birthday messages, and rebooking reminders save hours each week while improving the client experience. The key is using automation to handle the routine so one can show up fully for the moments that require personal touch. Streamlining client communication and treatment documentation also protects practitioners professionally and creates consistency across every interaction. Whether a practitioner is working solo or managing a team, documented systems are the backbone of a business that can grow without falling apart. Passing the baton. For many professionals, especially those who built their business from the ground up, the idea of handing over any piece of it feels terrifying. What if they do not do it well? What if the client experience suffers? These are valid concerns, but they also keep talented professionals trapped in a cycle of doing every single thing themselves. The reality is that professionals do not need to hire a full team to get relief. A virtual assistant who handles scheduling, email, and social media management can give back hours each week. A part-time front desk employee can transform the client arrival experience. Even outsourcing bookkeeping or marketing removes mental weight that has nothing to do with aesthetic expertise. The key to delegating without losing quality lies in those systems mentioned earlier. When processes are documented, training someone becomes exponentially easier. They are not guessing, they are following a clear framework that reflects expectations. This is also what allows owners to step back without micromanaging. They are not hovering because the standards are already built into the system. Knowing when to bring on help is its own skill. A good indicator is when the cost of one's time doing a task exceeds what they would pay someone else to do it. Smart growth. One of the most empowering shifts in the aesthetics industry is the growing recognition that revenue does not have to scale in lockstep with hours worked. There are multiple ways to increase income without increasing the number of clients on the books each day. Tiered service structures and curated packages allow for increased per-appointment revenue by bundling complementary treatments and positioning premium experiences. A client who books a signature facial package at a higher price point is often more invested, more consistent, and more satisfied than one who books individual services sporadically. Membership and subscription models create predictable recurring revenue while deepening client loyalty. When clients commit to a monthly treatment plan, they see better results, and professionals gain the financial stability of knowing what next month looks like before it even arrives. Home care and retail programs are another powerful lever. A practitioner's professional recommendation carries enormous weight. Building a thoughtful retail strategy around the products they trust and use in treatment extends their impact into clients' daily routines while generating revenue that does not require physical presence. Educational offerings, whether workshops for clients, masterclasses for fellow professionals, or digital resources, allow skin professionals to monetize their expertise in ways that extend beyond the treatment room. These models honor one's knowledge and create income streams that are not limited by the number of hours in a day. The common thread? Slow, strategic growth built on value almost always outperforms rapid expansion built on volume. The sellout trap. The aesthetics industry moves fast. New devices, viral treatments, and trending ingredients create constant pressure to keep up, add on, and pivot. And while staying current is important, there's a meaningful difference between evolving with intention and chasing hype. Every device representative who walks through the door has a compelling pitch. Every social media trend promises to attract a new wave of clients. Adding a service or device that does not align with a business's clinical philosophy, expertise, or client base dilutes one's brand and stretches their focus. It is the professional equivalent of trying to be everything to everyone, and it rarely ends well. Saying no strategically is one of the most powerful things a professional can do for their business. When they decline an opportunity because it does not serve their clients or align with evidence-based practice, they are not missing out. They are protecting their credibility, brand integrity, and the trust clients place in them. That trust over time is worth far more than any trend cycle. Mindset and emotional resilience. Growth is not just a strategy problem, it is also an emotional one. Many skin professionals struggle with redefining what success looks like when the industry constantly measures it in follower counts, revenue milestones, and fully booked, overwhelmed calendars. What if success meant ending each day with energy left over? What if it meant working 4 days a week and being genuinely present for life outside the treatment room? What if it meant earning more while seeing fewer clients because one's business is efficient, intentional, and aligned? Fear, guilt, and imposter syndrome show up loudly during growth. The fear of slowing down when everyone else seems to be sprinting, the guilt of saying no to a client or an opportunity, and the imposter syndrome that convinces professionals that they have not earned the right to set boundaries or raise prices. These feelings are normal and they do not have to run the show. Building emotional resilience for professionals means learning to trust their systems, trust their team, if they have one, and trust themselves. It means recognizing that stepping back from doing everything is not a failure. It is a sign that they have built something strong enough to hold itself. Scaling at a human pace. There is a quiet revolution happening in aesthetics, and it does not get nearly enough attention. More and more professionals are choosing to grow slowly and deliberately. They are intentionally capping their appointment books, raising their per-service value, and building intentionally in recovery, flexibility, and margin. This is not a lack of ambition. It is the most sophisticated form of it. When professionals align growth with their energy, capacity, and the life they actually want to live, they create something that lasts, like a business that supports them instead of consuming them, and a career that still excites them 5, 10, or 20 years down the road. Consider the practitioner who reduces their weekly client load from 30 to 22, but increases their average service value by 40% through premium packages and a strong retail program. They are earning more, delivering better results, and finishing each week with enough left in the tank to actually enjoy the life their business affords them. That is not settling, that is scaling with intelligence and intention. Business without burnout. The ultimate measure of a well-built aesthetics business is not how fast it grew or how impressive it looks from the outside. It is whether the person at the center of it is thriving. Growth should support one's clients, staff, if applicable, and oneself. When one of those three is consistently sacrificed for the others, the entire structure becomes fragile. Scaling with sanity means scaling for longevity. So before adding the next service, leasing the second location, or booking that extra client into an already full day, pause. Ask whether it reflects the business and the life actually desired. If the answer is not a clear yes, it might be the most important no. Growth is a strategic, values-aligned, human-centered process. It is not a sprint and it is not a competition. It is a practice, and the best time to start practicing is right now. Shaylee Hancock is the founder of Glossus Social, a global marketing education company that has empowered thousands of aesthetics professionals across more than 40 countries with simple, intentional, and sustainable marketing strategies. Through her signature SIS method, continuing education, and the Esthetician Marketing House community, Hancock helps estheticians, eyelash and eyebrow artists, injectors, and spa owners grow their clientele with confidence and clarity. Learn more at glossussocial.com.